Hello, and glad to have you here. Today, we're going to talk about or have a conversation around consistency. And we'll talk about some things about consistency and what you have to think about, what you say about, what you feel about consistency. Is it something that's important to you? Because this is my actual title. Stick around or leave. What would you do with someone who's inconsistent in business? And a lot of times you don't really know, if you're just hiring somebody or if you're just meeting someone and then you start off this connection and conversation and what have you. And maybe it doesn't show up right away. So you don't really know. You're hoping, and from some of the questions that you ask, you hope you get the answers that you need from that person in an honest way. So, before we get started into this, I think this is an interesting topic, and it's something that is really, really important, especially as we're building our businesses. And that's what I'm doing, just like you guys. I'm building my business and I'm doing it online. So, as you're hopping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Let me know what you think about this topic. Have a conversation with me. And, as always, if there are questions or you have something that you didn't quite understand or you want to go deeper, let me know by messaging me in Messenger and we can have a conversation around it. My name, let me introduce myself to those of you that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting. My name is Cherie Woodard, and I help business builders and entrepreneurs to use social media to get prospects, leads, and sales in their business. And I do this in a variety of ways. I use attraction marketing, lead generation, live video, as well as trying to stay up, or not so much trying, but staying up to date with those things that are modern and trending to give you the best opportunity to make your business grow and just to be able to keep it moving and, become that person that you want to be, you know, get to that point that you want to get to. So that is what I do. So you might say, so what does that have to do with what you're talking about today? And even some of the other topics that you talked about, what does that have to do with it? And I'm hoping that I'm drawing it back to business, but if I'm not, I'm going to make sure that I do that because if we're not consistent, if we have people around us that are not consistent, then our business can suffer, right? I mean, what do you think about it? And you can drop a comment, a question, your opinion, whatever that is, in the comment box, and I will answer you. It doesn't allow me to answer you except for I can verbally answer you on screen, but it won't let me, like post something or whatever. But I can answer you on the screen for certain questions, and then we can go from there because I want this to be more of a conversation instead of, and this is something that I keep hearing from my mentors over and over, especially Helen, and she says people don't want to be talked at. You know, we want to have a conversation. And I understand that but I guess that's all I knew was being talked at. So anyway, um, so when we're talking about consistency and being consistent, is that something that's important to you? What would it be like if, like I have here, stick around or leave? If someone is showing up one day, maybe a week, and then you don't see them anymore for 2 or 3 weeks, and then they come back for a few days and then they talk about some stuff that's really interesting, and when they come, let's say that they're power packed and what they have to say is meaningful and powerful and helpful and what have you, but you just get to the point where they are not being consistent. So can you depend on that? Can you depend on a person who's not going to show up consistently? And if, what are they trying to do? Are they building a business to help others? Have they chosen who it is they want to help, or are they just having some issues with consistency? Now, every now and then stuff is going to happen. Like I've got 2 sons, and one of them has a lot more issues than the other. And so sometimes he throws me off and my timing is off, or he's being loud and I'm trying to tell him to be quiet so that I can do my live and share with the people that I want to share with. But, it throws me off on my time. Sometimes I'm a few minutes late or whatever because I have to go back downstairs and tell him again, I am getting ready to go live. I need you to be quiet. It's just so, but I think that that's something that's understandable. But when it comes to people that don't show up for you, that, um, they're haphazard in how they do things as far as being able to help you and serve you in the way that you should be, then I myself would leave. I would have to say, I don't wanna stick around because this is a waste of my time. This person, doesn't show up all the time. They, whatever. I wouldn't feel that I could trust them, depend on them. Those are things that are important to me, and therefore I want to be able to show up for you. Now, in talking about showing up, I'm trying to figure how I'm going to show up for you Thursday, because Thursday I have a procedure that's being done and I have to be in the hospital for it. So I'm just trying to figure how I'm going to do this. If, I'll just record really, really early because we have to leave here really, really early. And For me to be admitted and do all the stuff that they do. But, I will figure it out. And, I know that at the time that I normally go live, I will probably be back home, but I'll probably be drugged or half asleep, because they won't let you come home without someone driving you home because of the stuff that they have to give you to put you to sleep. So anyway, but that bothers me because it is interrupting my consistency, but it was something that I had no choice over. This is the time that they gave me, and they said, "We don't have any other time." And I have put it off and put it off, and it was something that I really didn't want to do, but I have to do it. And so finally, I, put on my big girl panties, and I'm doing it. Um, so being consistent to me is really important. It's important in building a community of people that know that they can depend on me to come and deliver some information, some content to them, something that's going to help them in their lives, in their business, because the stuff that we have, our businesses are not totally separate from our lives. They are enmeshed, especially if you have a family, and you have, even if you don't have a family and you have friends, you have things that you want to do with them, and whatever, and have fun, and that's important. And so when you're consistent, then people know when you're going to show up, when you're going to show up, what you're going to talk about that might help them, as well as not so much talking at people. And this is something that I had to learn because as a registered nurse, I did a lot of teaching. A lot of teaching. It was a lot of, I was the nurse that had experience. I was one of those nurses. And so then they would always put somebody with me, and then I would kind of train them, help them to, do the things that they were going to learn to do in that particular unit or area or whatever of nursing it was. Because when you come in, you may have a lot of experience in this area, but you may not have any in this other area. So, it's a little different. So, then you take your time and you make sure that they get what it is that they need to know as a base. And we had, what we need to make sure that they had everything, even the updates and all of that kind of thing. So for me, consistency, being there, being dependable, and I have notes on the side here. Um, Being dependable is something that you can't you can't put a price on for me, as far as I'm concerned. Um, it's more important to me for a person to be consistent. If they're not going to be consistent, then I really don't want to play. I don't want to have that game with them. I don't want to have that business with them. I don't want to have that, meeting with them or whatever, because I don't know if they're going to really show up or not. I don't want to really go to their lives or whatever, because they may not show up. Just different things. People in I'm in business with, show up. They show up. And that's one of the main things, is to show up and to give value, and, and help those that you want to help. So I hope that I'm not saying anything in the chat right now, but you get what I'm talking about, right? When I'm talking about being consistent and delivering the goods and helping those people that you truly want to help. So I'm not going to keep humming it on this tune, but I wanted you to know how important consistency is to me. I have had certain compliments from people who say, you're still there, you're still showing up. People I haven't heard from in, maybe even months to years, and they'll come through or whatever, and they'll say, "You're still there. Stay. You're gonna make it. You're gonna, you're always showing up." And that's important to me. And to hear that really lifted me in my spirit. It made me feel good about myself. That is one quality that I have, and that is that I like to show up and be there for those people that I want to serve and help. So basically, that is all I have for today. I don't see any comments or anything, but like I said in the beginning, you can reach me in Messenger if you have questions. For those of you that are here with me live or catching us on the replay, same thing. A lot of times people are busy, so they put stuff in after, and I go back and I check later, and I even check down to a few days, later. I just kind of make sure that I'm not missing anything, because sometimes I don't get my notifications because I'm busy and I don't hear the little ding, or I go through the notifications and only so many I can get to, because it's a lot of them. But that is basically it today. I'm going to go on and get off of here, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day, no matter wherever you are in this world. It's a big one. And you know I hope that this was helpful. I hope you got some value. I'll be back tomorrow. Talk soon. Bye now.